জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয়।
Your job is to vibrate or fill your desire within you. Allow the universe to do its work of bringing the desire to you. Allow the universe to do its work of bringing the desire to you. নমস্কার, জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয় আপনাদের স্বাগত। আমি প্রফেসর ডক্টর সুজয় বিশ্বাস এবং জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয়ের আজকে 395তম 395th এপিসোড, 395th উইক। এবং আজকের সপ্তাহে আমার অতিথি, বিশেষ অতিথি, ভীষণ সম্মানীয় অতিথি, আমার ভাবতে ভীষণ ভালো লাগছে, চোখে জল চলে আসছে। হি ইজ নান আদার দ্যান দি চাইনিজ কনসাল জেনারেল ইন ক্যালকাটা, মিস্টার জালুই। নমস্কার মিস্টার জালুই।
নমস্কার।
Thanks for coming to my show. It's such an honor that you're gracing the show, which is running for the last so many weeks. Last so many years in this 10 years,
yes,
7.5 years. ধন্যবাদ দেব আপনাদের সকলকে, যারা শহরের যারা সপ্তাহের পর সপ্তাহ, মাসের পর মাস, বছরের পর বছর জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয় দেখে জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয়কে এক করে তুলেছেন এক মুখে মুখে চলা নাম। সঙ্গে রাখুন, দেখতে থাকুন জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয়। সাপ্তাহিক সাফল্যে 7 কাউন্টি, দি 7 রুলস অফ ফার্স্ট রুল, রেসপেক্ট এন্ড ওবিডিয়েন্স। বলে যে তুমি যদি অন্যকে রেসপেক্ট করো, রেসপেক্ট বিগেটস রেসপেক্ট। সো বি ওবিডিয়েন্ট অ্যান্ড বি রেসপেক্টফুল, থিংস উইল হ্যাপেন ফর ইউ। The second rule of success is integrity and moral values. Integrity is very important. At the end of the day, there is no, trust me, there is no shortcut route to success. And you have to be have very integrity. You have to keep your integrity. And then only you can achieve the big goal. The third rule of success, physical fitness and self-discipline. Physical fitness includes to be physically well. আমি যখন বলি, when I talk of wholesome happiness, I talk of the physical happiness, and this physical fitness and self-discipline will help you in achieving your goal, being focused. The fourth rule of success, effective communication and teamwork. বলে শব্দই ব্রহ্ম, কথা যদি না বলতে পারি তাহলে কিন্তু হবে না। Whatever we intend to do, we have to communicate. So you have to intend communication and teamwork. একা একা কিন্তু কিছু হবে না, একা একা যেটা হবে সেটা খুব, you have to have the team along with you and pat every team member so that it works. The fifth rule of success, accountability and responsibility. ওই ঘাটটা নামিয়ে নিতে, just shoulderটা আমি সরিয়ে নিলাম, just putting aside the shoulder, my shoulder is not going to work. So you have to be accountable and responsible, then only you can go ahead. The sixth rule of success, time management and efficiency. All the people who have done great things in the world have 24 hours. We have 24 hours too. So we have to put in n number of hours of efforts so that this 24 hours is totally utilized and we get whatever we desire. Je bollam na, the desire, the universe will do its work of bringing the desire to, but you have to work very hard. The seventh and the last rule of success, সাপ্তাহিক সাফল্যের 7 কোণে সপ্তম এবং last rule, serving with honor and selfless commitment. If you serve with honor and selfless commitment, things are going to come back to you in the same way, and the universe will transpire so that you become one of the most successful person in the universe. চলে এসেছি একদম প্রশ্ন উত্তরের মুখে। তার আগে অতিথি সম্পর্কে দু চার কথা। তার কারণ জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয় করে তার সাপ্তাহিক তার সফল অতিথি সাফল্যে documentation. I'll just speak a few lines on Mr. Zalui. Mr. Zalui was born in Jiangsu province in January 1964. From 1997 to 1988, he was the National Economic Committee of the People's Republic of China. 1988 to 1990, he was the International Labor Department of the China Enterprise Management Association. 1990 to 1998, he was Training Center of the Organization Department of the CPC Central Committee. 1998 to 2008, Deputy Director and Director General Office of the Organization Department of the CPC Central Committee. 2008 to 2012, Consular Department of Consular Affairs, Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. 2012 to 2014, Consular Chinese Embassy in the United States of America. 2014 to 2018, Deputy Consul General, Chinese Consul General in San Francisco, and 2019, Consul General, Chinese Consul General in Kolkata, till the date for the last 5 years. So we'll come to question and answer, but this is a different kind of show. This is not for geopolitical or political discussions. This is a show basically on success, how to achieve success, and you are one of the most successful person internationally. So my first question is, you were born and brought up in which province of China?
My home province is in the center of the East China's coast, Jiangsu province, to the north of Shanghai. And actually, Jiangsu province is a proud second largest economy of China. I spent my youth times.
Your schooling, where was your schooling from? Schooling and college?
My schooling, entire schooling divided into two. First is in my home. Second, since 1983, I went to Beijing. I worked in I attended university in Beijing and worked ever since then.
And what was your specialization over there?
Well, I professionally, I was trained English language speaker.
Oh,
in
English
China.
language. That's
yes.
the reason
English
you're English.
Language literature.
Right.
And in my career times in the Chinese public system,
Okay.
I was trained in public administration, in management training.
So that was a part of your graduation, or it was a specialized training after that?
Actually, it's my passion, because as a language speaker, I worked for Chinese leaders at various levels, translation,
Okay.
doing research,
Right.
and visiting other countries on policy,
Okay.
especially in the area of personal management of
Right.
China.
I just wanted to know that in our country, the way our country runs, you have to appear for a Union Public Service Commission exam to qualify for the administrative service or the foreign service or the police service or the revenue service. What is the way in China?
So in my time, that is in 1987, university graduates can be chosen by national agencies, ministries.
It was not
So
a competitive exam for that.
It doesn't have to go through any examination except the interview.
Except the
interview
right.
given by the relevant or interested ministries or agencies at the center level and at the provincial levels. So once you were given the interview and you passed that interview, you will naturally become the kind of public service people, which is similar to IS officers
Right.
here. But in later years, maybe in the next 10 to 15 years after my graduation, there appeared a national examination for entrance to public service. So there are two different stages.
Oh, now there are
Now everyone has to take exam, qualify, sit for national examination to be recruited in the Chinese public service.
See, you are a language expert, and I have visited China during 2005, 2006, 2007, and I found the people who knew English was very important at that point of time, because China was growing as an exporter of many items. I used to go for a computer and peripherals, but I found that every step, because China was a happening country, is a happening country till now, and they needed to communicate with the outside world, and the medium was communication English. So whosoever knew a little bit of English was good enough, was a valued employee to the employer, and you were an English expert. So you could have many options to stay back in your country, but you chose in foreign service as your career. Why?
Well, this is another story, because I worked for the Chinese public service within the country for over 20 years.
Okay.
As you can read, So by the year 2009, 2008, so after spending more than 2 decades in the personal management system in China, my boss said that, okay, maybe you can, I give you an option.
Okay.
Would you be interested, because I'm a professional English speaker in China. People said that, would you be interested in joining Chinese Foreign Service? I said, yes, of course. I didn't hesitate. So I joined Chinese Foreign Service.
Were you given well, foreign service, you need to have a lot of geopolitical knowledge. What is happening? What are the dimensions, different dimensions, and your policies towards short term and long term. Were you given a training on what is the Chinese policies for the whole world, or how we are looking? Because you are in the foreign service at a point of time where China became an axis by itself. So what was the directive given to you that you carried out so smoothly, and you are taken name is taken along with the United States?
Well, this is a very, very good question. Yes, Well, a professional Chinese speaker or translator
Right.
for the Chinese system to interact with the foreign countries.
Right.
I have been trained on the job at the various Chinese central agencies.
Okay.
So I worked closely with the leadership of the ministries, agencies, major SOEs in China. So that is one part. So when I joined Chinese Foreign Service, that was professionally, politically, geopolitically intense job. So I have to focus entirely on the several W's.
Right.
Okay, where, how, what, etc. So it's not an easy job to realize this transformation
Right.
from the internal public service
the
system to
external.
the foreign service.
And at that point of time, China must have great things in mind that whatever China is right at this point happened during your tenure, means you have reached a...
This is related to Chinese education system.
Right.
As a language student in China, we work as we study as any average Chinese university students, learning everything, including politics,
Okay.
humanities.
So you are brought up, means your education system takes care of your knowledge of the geopolitical knowledge and the positioning of China.
Yeah. As I said, at the various stages of Chinese public service, if you want to get promotion, you follow the ladder requirement,
Right.
step by step, going up. So I experienced on-the-job examination. So
Right.
when a higher vacancy is required for some time, the ministry, the Chinese public service system says that, well, you have to take exam because there are competitors.
Right.
So I took exam. That is one thing. The other thing is that I never stopped learning. I
You
I
learn
never
every day.
stopped
I feel
reading
it.
books.
Right.
That is, as I said, on-the-job training in my life, including maybe 2 to 3 very important training. One is the public administration and training, executive training management in China. That was a program sponsored by United Nations and one European country. There was a very close cooperation between China and the European countries at that time. So this is one. It was a 1.5 year full-time intensive training. It's
Right.
almost like a master degree program. The other one is actually I was a PhD candidate for human geography
Okay.
during the later years of my career, public service times in the from late 1990s to early 2000. I was very satisfied in taking a national examination for the PhD examination.
Okay.
But I didn't finish that
Okay.
because of the this transfer from
The
domestic
home to the
to foreign service.
And the third?
The third one is going to the United States.
Okay.
This is really tough. The China-U.S. relationship is a big thing,
Big thing.
and everything has to be learned on the spot.
Right.
Especially for me, for people outside of the system.
Right.
And U.S. is a major subject.
Right.
So I spend a tremendous time on
Studying
and reading.
observing and-
Yeah.
So we have come to the first half of the interview, and there is a mandatory question of mine. I keep on saying that moments make a life. Muhurtoi jibon, and the moment that has gone away, even the richest of the rich cannot get. Neither Jack Ma nor Bill Gates can get back the moments, how much $1 billion they have in their banks. You are still very young, and we hope.
I'm 60.
Yeah, I know. You said.
Yeah.
So and you have. We hope and pray and wish that you have a long life and a long, healthy life.
Thank you.
Long, healthy, and you keep on working. I know that you won't be working in this position, but keep on working, be fit and fine. But any moment till date, you have a long career, which you'd like to cherish for the rest of your life. The last question of the first half.
Well, as I said, I like learning in the process.
Right.
So I never, as a language speaker in Chinese system, it's a pivotal, critical job for the opening up
Right.
of China to the outside world. So no matter what policy or the quality of the policy is it needs translation from Chinese into English. So realizing the challenge of the job, my life.
What point, at any point that you feel that this was a point that this was a moment that you will cherish for the rest of your life?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That because, as I said, maybe one other, the third thing that I really cherish is that the training program is that from the late 1990s to early 2000, I participated in an executive MBA program in China. The reason is that, to fulfill the responsibility of my job, it takes the proficiency in both languages, not only English, but the Chinese. So, applying to that degree program to enhance my competency in the job, that is something I really cherish.
395তম এপিসোড হচ্ছে 350 উপরে পুজো গেস্ট সকলের কিন্তু মোমেন্টস ডিফারেন্ট। চলে এসেছি প্রথমবার একদমই শেষে একটা ছোট্ট গল্প বলবো। এক ভদ্রলোক বেরোচ্ছেন, ওনার স্ত্রী বলে দিয়েছেন যে কিছু আপেল কিনে দে। সো ওয়ান ওম্যান ওয়াজ গোয়িং আউট অ্যান্ড সামওয়ান সেড দ্যাট হিজ ওয়াইফ সেড টু গেট সাম অ্যাপলস। তো ভদ্রলোক গিয়ে পাড়ার যে মহিলা আছেন, সে এক বৃদ্ধ ভদ্রমহিলা বসে আছেন। সো দেয়ার ওয়াজ আ ওল্ড ওম্যান সিটিং ওভার দেয়ার উইথ আ বাস্কেট অফ অ্যাপলস অ্যান্ড হি সেড হোয়াট ইজ দ্য কস্ট অফ দ্য, কত দাম কত? অ্যান্ড হি সেড দ্যাট 40 rupees per kg. তো ভদ্রলোক বলছেন যে না, আই ওয়ন্ট গিভ 40, আই উইল 30, 35 দেবো, 40 দেবো না। সো দি সেলার ডিডন্ট এগ্রি। তো উনি চলে গেছেন। সন্ধ্যেবেলা ওনার মনে আছে যে আপেল নিয়ে ফিরতে হবে। তখন হি ওয়েন্ট টু দ্যাট শপ, মলের যে শপে গেছে। তখন বলছে কত? বলছে 60 টাকা। বলছে কেন 60 টাকা দেবো আমি? ওয়াই উইল আই গিভ 60 rupees? It is 40 in the market, in the open market. He said he just showed a board, and a board e lekha je dhar chahiye bargain kore lojja deben na. So it was written over there that don't bargain and embarrass us. So he said either you have to take a 60 or go. So he didn't take that, and he came back to that old lady. So ভদ্র মহিলা তখন বলছেন যে দেখুন, আপনি 35 টাকা পার কেজি দিলেই হবে, আমার আর বেশি লাগবে না, 35 টাকা। সো উনি 2 কেজি অ্যাপেল নেন, 2 কেজি আপেল নিলেন, অ্যান্ড হি পেইড হিম 100 rupees. সো 120 rupees. সো উনি বলছেন না না, এত কাটতে লাগবে, আপনি তো এত টাকা তো লাগবে না, ইটস কট অনলি 70, আপনি গিভ 50, আমার 50 টাকা নেই। দেন হি সেড না, তো আপনি পুরোটাই রাখুন। সো হি ওয়েন্ট ব্যাক টু হিজ ওয়াইফ, স্ত্রীর কাছে ফিরে গেলেন, অ্যান্ড হি সেড দ্যাট সি দিস হ্যাজ হ্যাপেন্ড. So I have decided one thing. He said, that tomorrow I recover 500 rupees. And during the time he was giving this 120 rupees, that old lady was in tears. He said, why are you giving me? And this person said, and he said, you know that I sell apples because my husband died. We were on a huge debt, and we had no money, so I have to come out with the apples to sell and make my living, 2 ends meet. And the person was touched. খুব অন্তরে ধাক্কা লেগে গেল। ভদ্রমহিলাকে গিয়ে বললেন, he sent to his wife that আমি ওনাকে I want to help this person and help this seller, এবং তুমি আমায় 500 টাকা দেবে। The next day he went back and gave 500, and he said যে তুমি আরো বড় করে ব্যবসা করো, আরো ফ্রুটস আনো, আনো, আমিও আরো লোকদের বলবো। ভদ্রমহিলা বলে 500 টাকা শোধ দেবো কি করে? I don't have the means to give back 500 rupees. তোমার শোধ দিতে, আমি তোমার থেকে রোজ দিন এইরকম ফ্রুটস নিয়ে তুমি শোধ হয়ে যাবে। Then he went to his office and told the same story. And the people, his colleagues, যারা ওনার সাথে কাজ করতো, সহকর্মীরা এসে করতে করলো। At a later point of time, ওনাকে একটা ভ্যান ব্যবস্থা করে দেওয়া হলো, তারপর একটা দোকানের ব্যবস্থা করে, and that kept on growing. And ভদ্রলোকের ফ্যামিলি কি যারা ওকে সাপোর্ট করছে, all went well. ছোট্ট স্টোরি, moral is very important. Moral is you have to help people if you really want to be good to yourself. Helping people brings back the blessing of that people and all the universe around it. So why we talk ill of people? If we cannot do good to people, let us refrain from doing not bad to people. So if we think of people around, if we pray for 1,000%, 1,000 blessings will come for us. Let us not be that selfish and only pray for ourselves. চলে এলাম বিরতির পর। আপনারা দেখছেন জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয়। আজকে জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয় 395th episode, 395th week, এবং আজকের এপিসোডে আমার অতিথি the the Honorable Consul General of China, Chinese Republic, that's the People's Republic of China, Mr. Liyou. আপনারা যারা দেখেননি এতক্ষণ, just see the recording so you see how wonderfully he speaks. Sir, I want you, people knows you, your last 5 years in Calcutta as a Chinese consul general. That was the part that you fronted. But at the same time, I'd like to know about your family, so that it helps to create, and I found that it helps to connect with the audience. Your family, your parents, your brothers, mothers, wife, and stuff like that. I know about your wife, but at the same time, I want people to know.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, it's amazing to remember that I have been in Kolkata for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
My wife has always been with me,
Yeah.
and she takes care of my backyard. I work in the front.
Right.
I do appreciate the hospitality and friendship Bengali people have shown me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I have a son who is a graduate of Pratt Institute from New York City.
Okay.
He's now working in Beijing as a content designer for a game company.
Okay.
It's a very good job.
Okay.
And my parents, no more.
Okay.
A couple of years back, no more. But my parents-in-law are in very good shape.
Okay.
They, as I said, my province is in Jiangsu.
Yeah, Jiangsu.
My wife's Jiangsu is still further south China,
Right.
Fujian province. So we have married since 1989.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's amazing to see that, at my
35 years of marriage.
Yeah. So I joined China's public service for the last 37 years, and it's amazing to, just to think about that. I spent 5 years in India,
Right. And that too in Calcutta, the city of
in Kolkata. Yeah, I never expected that. I was given this job to serve this great relationship.
Right. Thank you. I have the position you serve and the position of work, all of this has a lot of stress, because you have to be very focused to your country's interests at the same time, the countries you represent, even during your stay. So how did you take care of stress? My question is that, do you pursue in a hobby which acts as a stress reliever from the normal course of activity?
Hobby?
Yeah.
Well, hobby, to work is my hobby.
Oh, yeah,
it's a top hobby.
That's the greatest hobby.
And aside from, the dealing with all the stresses from work, from family, from the weather, because the weather is very different from China.
Right.
Personally, I like jogging.
Right. Oh, you like jogging?
Yes,
you're in great shape. You're in great shape.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You attend parties, but you are in great shape.
Actually, I was quite active sports enthusiast during my school years.
Okay.
So I'm spending what I developed when I was
the calorie
young.
burning of the calories.
Yeah. So I like jogging for the last few years, but recently I reduced that frequency.
Okay.
But basically, I then play table tennis years back.
Okay.
And also, as I said,
Chinese people are great in table tennis.
Well, we can actually West Bengal and China. We have a lot of space to work on table tennis.
Right.
I like jogging. I like table tennis. I like most important of all, as I said, I like mingling with people.
Yeah, you love them.
Visiting, sometimes walk through community.
Right.
That takes strength.
Right.
I remember you said physically well, right? People need to be physically well, but if you do it late, you won't
recover that.
Yeah, we have to do it early. While young. So otherwise, when you get older.
See, I see that that I serve as a motivational speaker in speech, and I end with a quote that's I talk of wholesome happiness. I say the wholesome happiness first. Health-wise, you should be happy.
Yeah.
Health-wise, you should be happy. You should be financially comfortable. I say the people who say that money is not required for happiness, then they are either fools or billionaires. then emotional happiness, because
Yeah,
emotionally
yeah.
strong people can only,
Yeah.
and then last is the spiritual happiness, because it acts as a moral compass. So physical happiness is one of the key parts over there. Now I'll come to the next question, which is a part of your the job you do as the foreign service. So how do you see the geopolitical situation right at this point of time? Is the perception correct that US and China are at loggerheads? Is the perception correct that India and US are not in the best of the relations? But since I keep on studying on current affairs, we have the biggest of the trade relations with China, biggest of the trade relations. You have the biggest of the trade relations in the United States. So what is perception? What is the reality?
Well, it's a very broad question.
Yes, it's a broad question.
My belief is that given my...
I want an answer for the common people, you know.
Yes, I'm talking, I'm a common sense diplomat.
Yeah.
I'm a Chinese citizen here.
Right.
As I said, I joined Chinese foreign service in the middle of my career.
Right.
I was not a career diplomat since very beginning.
Right.
So I mostly, you know, I spent 6.5 years in the US,
Right.
5 years in India. So
Yeah.
and
that's the reason I asked you, because you're the right person to give this answer.
yeah, because you know, you just imagine that, you know, I have been an outsider for the U.S. from India,
Right.
but I'm different from many of us because I spent my 6.5 years public service years in the U.S. and 5 years in India, so I can comment on the so-called geopolitical issues as a common sense people, because not many people in the middle of the career, they could not have done this. So my view is that as common sense people, as citizens in the community, for example, I am a Calcuttan, I'm a Salt Lake citizen. So we should cascade geopolitical terms into specifics. That is that, you know, I have been asked by many friends to comment on our bilateral relationship. I said bilateral relationship has many facets. I, as Consul General of China, I'm supposed to take care of the community interest in the eastern, 5 states in East India. So I take care of these 5. Other things, leave that to the professionals. Leave the more broader geopolitical things to the capitals of the country, to the professionals who can speak more fluently in their terms. I see this from the interest of West Bengal, from the interest of Bihar, from the interest of Odisha, etc. And also I see the problem or the issues. You mentioned the bilateral trade. Well, many people say that, you know, we have big deficits. But I said that, you know, no one wants to, with friends like India, nobody wants to be a friend with a big deficit with friends. So I see that I'm a quite optimistic people. Given my 5 years in East India, I just see that, you know, we have so many commonalities together. We have shared so many things since time begins. Just like a couple of days ago, I talked about the Buddhism in China. You know, Buddhism, Indian Buddhism in China, since the year 68 until the you know. The year 1924, Tago's first visit to China. So these are the issues, are the heritages that we should share? While we talk about, you know, the outside world. Outside world takes broader decision-making ingredients, elements. So let people, the professional people in Delhi, in Beijing, deal with that. And we focus on, say, for example, if West Bengal needs more Chinese tourists, let's talk about this. How, you know, if we can have more Chinese tourists, if we open flights, more Chinese tourists would bring more business opportunities to Kolkata.
So you are fine on a broad scale, since we're running short of time. On a broad scale, you find that we have the best of the relationships, and we can nurture it so that it becomes more better, and it will be a win-win situation for both India and China, or the eastern part of the country and the China.
I'm a strong believer
thank you.
that we have to work harder. Everyone has to work harder. Everyone has a role to play.
There is a mandatory question of mine. I told you offline that I started this show in 2016, 2nd July, with the Bandhan Bank chairperson. When the Bandhan Bank from microfinance had become a bank over there, and my first guest in the show was the Bandhan Bank founder, Chandrasekhar Ghosh. And from that day, I asked this question on a regular basis, that I'm born and brought up in Calcutta. I'm having a professional life and academic professional life in Calcutta, done reasonably to lead a comfortable life. So I keep on saying that we'll do Shonar Bangla, means golden Bengal.
Shola Bangla.
Shonar Bangla.
Shonar Bangla.
Golden Bengal. So
Okay.
you have been in Bengal for the last 5 years. Do you think that Bangla is going to be Shonar Bangla, or Bengal is to be a golden Bengal within some time?
Well, as a Chinese diplomat, I strongly believe that we have great potential that await us to exploit. I give you 2 examples to see how the resources in Chinese provinces can be used by Bengali golden Bangla. One is, for example, the Chinese Yunnan province, very close to Assam, very close to West Bengal. Chinese Yunnan province is very keen on strengthening ties with West Bengal.
Okay.
It's not working well systematically. That is one. And then the capital city of Yunnan is Kunming. Kunming is a sister city of Kolkata.
Right.
And there was the sort of signature over there on the shelf.
Right.
We, if our friends, as my 5-year experience show, if we can work harder enough to take more steps ahead, small steps, to add these small steps so that we have a big jump, I'm very sure that the resources from Kunming, from Yunnan can be further used. Aside from this, other Chinese provinces, my home province, Jiangsu province, is the second biggest economy in China. Guangdong province. I know many Bengali business people traveling to Guangzhou, Guangdong province recently. Why? Because there's a strong business interest mutually.
Right.
And the issue is still, again, back to your bigger question, geopolitical things. That is, we don't have flights yet between India and China. We don't have direct flight. And India has not opened tourist visa to Chinese people. If these things, West Bengal is just one of the most direct beneficiaries if these policies can be reopened in the near future. So my office, as you know, that I have been working very well with the state, with the city, with the center agencies. They have been very supportive. So the potential people-to-people exchange, just like you are the CEO of Techno India. And I know the Rai Chaudhary brothers or other institutions, other Chamber of Commerce. We have met many occasions. The potential of these individuals, these education institutions, artists, and Chambers of Commerce have been in some way underutilized.
So we need to utilize them.
Yeah, we should, all of us, all of us, we should work together to awaken the resources, to rejuvenate the traditional Bengali legacy. By this I mean that the Buddhist traditions, Tagore's traditions, the economic laureate, Nobel laureate of economics, these are all Bengali legacies.
Right.
But in the recent past, we do not have enough time to talk about them.
Culture, yeah.
We have, for example, we have K2K, Kunming Kolkata Forum. It's not happening. We have BCIM, the Economic Corridor. It was not talked anymore. And we have, many good initiatives from this office. I just, I would tell this to my successor, to my other staff.
You ask them to be in touch with me so that I can be a soldier
sure,
taking the relationship.
Yeah, because
the kind of relationship that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm very honored that you came in this show. And I'll take this onus on a television, that I'll take that forward. So যেরকম বলি যে সোনার বাংলা কোনো রাজনৈতিক দল নেতা নেত্রী করবে না, সোনার বাংলা করবেন আপনার আমার মতো সোনার বাঙালি। আসুন হাতে হাত ধরি সোনার বাংলা বলি, হাতে হাত ধরি সোনার বাংলা, হাতে হাত ধরি। স্যার যেটা বললেন যে ইস্যু ইজ দ্যাট উই হ্যাভ টু কিপ অন ওয়ার্কিং অন রিলেশনশিপ, দ্যাট উই আর থিঙ্কিং, ইমপ্লিমেন্টিং দ্য policies that we are doing, and if we implement the policy, Bangla নিশ্চয়ই সোনার বাংলা। I come to the last question, if you see my episodes throughout the 300, all the episodes, 7 rules of success. These 7 rules are not mine. These are from the people who are very successful people, and I collate them. But none of the weeks I repeat the entire. There is no copy and paste. I keep on experimenting with that, because I keep on saying word is power. Shabdoi Brahma. In Bengal it's called Shabdoi Brahma. Word is power. You keep on hammering on the same tune and you have to get the dent. I say that billions of people have shown have seen my show for the last so many years. So even 1% is inspired by whatever is saying, what my guests are saying, then my job is done, because I do it for passion, not for money. My last question to you: you are a successful Chinese professional who had been in the public service and then in the foreign service. Your advice for success for my viewers, that most of them are students, because I served Techno for 16 years, and though I had been in the official campus, I served industry for 20 years before that. But now all the students in Techno India, students in my school, that South Point, Jadavpur, Calcutta University, all the staff, all the countries I visited, people over there. So your advice for success for my viewers. Last question.
Well, it's a challenge for me, for a Chinese diplomat, to tell our Indian friends that how to be successful. My career years in the Chinese public service and then in foreign service tells me that hard work is one. If you don't work hard, you will regret when you get older. Second is be strong, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because at my age, to retire from public service, I have used everything I developed during my youth years. The third one is that, learning is never too late. And on-the-job competition from market, from outsiders is tough. And I have been asked actually by many Indian youngsters that, how should we see the China-India relationship? I say that, India-China relationship is not, this generation issue. It has been going on for the last 2,000 years. And I do believe that to be the next generation ambassadors across our border takes knowledge, takes, compassion, takes empathy, and also it takes, as I'm a foreign language speaker in China, I speak English. And I see the strong interest from our community to learn Chinese. So if you believe me that, learning English is easier for Indians, because English is not natural, it's not native in India. So if you speak English so good, and I'm sure you can speak good Chinese as well. So I strongly encourage people to understand that there's the other outside world that is equally exceptional. To believe that, we are in the shared community of mankind is one of the very, very successful driver in my life. So I thank you very much for the show, Professor.
Thank you. সুতরাং আমরা যদি মনে রাখি যে we have to work hard, ক্লিশে লাগতে পারে শুনতে, but we have to work hard for anything, and we should be emotionally, spiritually and physically very strong, and at the same time the humanness, the humanity in us should be alive so that we can go forward. That's the message from the Honorable Consul General of China in Kolkata, who will be ending his tenure next month. চলে এসেছি একদম প্রোগ্রামের শেষে। ধন্যবাদ দেওয়ার পালা। ধন্যবাদ দেব দিব্যেন্দু শেখর লাইডে আশা কমিউনিকেশন, সুজয় সাহা স্যাটলিং অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং, শর্মিষ্ঠা দাস ক্যানভাস কমিউনিকেশন, অভিজিৎ মিত্র পোর্ট্রি অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং, গৌতম পাল ইনফরমেশন অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং, নুমি মেহতা সেলভেল অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং, কেষ্ট শাহ কারুক্তি হোর্ডিং পোস্টার্স ব্যানার্স দিয়ে জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয়কে করে তুলেছে এক মুখে মুখে চালালাম। ধন্যবাদ দেব সুদীপ কুমার কুন্ডু এবং সুশোভন কুন্ডু ডিরেক্টরস অফ রেজনবি গ্রুপ, যারা প্রত্যেক সপ্তাহে ডিজিটাল প্রমোশনিং করে আমাদের পাশে থাকেন। ধন্যবাদ দেব দেব সেন, যিনি প্রথম মধ্যে এবং শেষে যে গানটা শোনে, দ্যাট সং ইজ কম্পোজড বাই দেব সেন এন্ড হি কেম ইন দ্য 240th এপিসোড, কম্পোজড এন্ড ডিরেক্টেড। এবং রাঘব চট্টোপাধ্যায় যে গানটা অসম্ভব ভালো করে গেয়েছেন, হু কেম অলসো ইন দ্য 315th এপিসোড। ধন্যবাদ দেব দ্য ট্রাস্টিজ অ্যান্ড ডিরেক্টরস অফ শিয়াব্রত স্কুল অফ নার্সিং, যারা কিছুদিন হলো আমাদের ছিলেন। ধন্যবাদ দেব আপনাদের, যারা সপ্তাহের পর সপ্তাহ, মাসের পর মাস, বছরের পর বছর জয়ের পথে সঙ্গে সুজয় দেখে একটা মোটিভেশনাল শোয়ের মোটিভেটেড কিংবা ইন্সপায়ার করে গেছেন। এবং আজকে আই ফিল সো ব্লেসড, সো অনার্ড দ্যাট দি অনারেবল কনসাল জেনারেল অফ চায়না ইজ ইন মাই শো, অ্যান্ড আই হোপ দ্যাট উইল গো ফ্রম মাইলস টু মাইলস ফ্রম হিয়ার। এবং আপনাদের জন্য অসম্ভব আমার কৃতজ্ঞতা রইল এই শোয়ের সাফল্যের জন্য। চলে যাওয়ার আগে প্রত্যেক দিনের মতন বলে যাবো একটা শায়রি, একটা মোটিভেশনাল শায়রি। বলতে ভালো লাগে, হিন্দিতে বলবো, হিন্দিতেই বলি। And I start. कहीं तूफान आएंगे, कहीं तूफान आएंगे, कदम भी डगमगाएंगे, कहीं तूफान आएंगे, कदम भी डगमगाएंगे, पर तुम रखना याद, लंबी रात के सवेरा भी होगा, लंबे रात की सवेरा भी होगा। बस तू आज मेहनत कर, कल तेरा ही होगा। बस तू आज मेहनत कर, कल तेरा ही होगा। बस तू आज मेहनत कर, कल तेरा ही होगा। নমস্কার, ফিরে আসবো পরের সপ্তাহে বিকেল 5:30টায়।
জয়ের পথে